Cosa in Friends, Lesson 4. So today we will start with the word proprio. Proprio, it's just like davvero. Okay, so you can use it the same way. So for example, kind of means exactly, really. So if you wanted to say is exactly what I wanted, you could say è proprio quello che volevo. Yeah? È proprio quello che volevo. It's exactly what I wanted. Appena. Appena, it's like just. Like, when you say just enough or something like that, like the word just, or even it could be as soon as. Yeah? Okay, so it feels like as soon as or just. The word appena. For example, you could say sono appena arrivato. Sono appena arrivato. The next word is soprattutto. Soprattutto. So this is another common word that we use in sentences all the time in Italian, and I feel it'd be a useful one to know. It kind of feels like when you say above all or especially, that kind of way, right? So if you say you like margherita pizza, you could say I like pizza, especially margherita. So the word especially there is soprattutto. In Italian that becomes mi piace la pizza, soprattutto quella margherita. Mi piace la pizza, soprattutto quella margherita. Invece, that's another very common word. It's when we want to say the word instead. So when we want to say instead, or on the other hand, yeah? Instead or on the other hand, then invece fits very well. For example, you could say volevo andare al cinema, invece sono rimasto a casa. Yeah? In English that feels like saying I wanted to go to the cinema or the movies, but instead here is invece, I stayed at home. Yeah? So invece feels like instead or on the other hand. So now let's carry on. So cosa it kind of has double meaning almost. It's almost like saying excuse me. Apologies for that. I had a massive lump in my throat, so apologies. Anyway, cosa means what or thing. Okay, so I'm going to give you some examples to try and make sense of it, okay? So if you want to refer to an object or an item, so if something is broken, you could say questa cosa è rotta. This thing is broken. Questa cosa è rotta. Yeah? So looking at cosa as what, it can be, for example, if you're wondering what are you doing, you want to ask somebody what they're doing. So that's a great example to see cosa as what. Okay. So for example, you could say cosa fai? Yeah? Cosa fai? So that becomes what are you doing? Yeah? So fai is literally are you doing, the whole thing. So cosa fai? Yeah, from the verb fare. Okay. So it's very common for us to say that, cosa fai? What are you doing? What are you up to? Yeah? So let me do another example, yeah, with cosa as a thing or cosa as what, because they're slightly different, So, for example, as a thing, you could say, if I bought a new thing, you bought a new item, you could say, I bought a new thing. You could say, ho comprato una cosa nuova. Yeah? Or if I don't understand this thing, for example, you would say, non capisco questa cosa. And that still refers to cosa as a thing. Instead, if you wanted to use it as what, It seems to be a lot of the times in a question form when you're trying to do the what, yeah, because it kind of makes sense. It's almost always going to be, I would say even all the time, connected to what as a question. So then it kind of feels like you could say, what do you want to eat? And in that case, you could say, cosa vuoi mangiare? Yeah. Or if you're wondering what someone is reading, you could say, what are you reading in English? In Italian, that becomes, cosa stai leggendo? So cosa there, it's what. Yeah, becomes a question. The question of what. Yeah. So it's either thing or what.